Okay, good morning. Good morning. I call the June 11th, 2024 meeting of the DuPage County Board to order. I invite everyone to stand and join in the Pledge of Allegiance. Member Yu, will you please lead us in the pledge?
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I now invite Herman Mehta of Naperville to lead us in the invocation.
Thank you to the DuPage County Board and Chair Conroy for having me back here. Whenever a board invites an openly non-religious speaker to deliver an invocation, it's a sign that this board takes diversity and inclusion seriously. That's not always an easy decision, but it is very much appreciated. This year, in an election year no less, empathy may appear to be in short supply and our differences threaten to block any kind of progress. But let's remember that we have so much more in common than we realize. We all care about our families, our schools, and our communities, and all of us look to all of you to make the best decisions on our behalf. This board has to put the community's needs in front of anyone's individual desires, guided by a shared sense of responsibility and rational thought. As an old proverb says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. But how do we know which decisions are best? Don't look up for answers. Look around you. Discuss, debate respectfully. Think about the people who grew up and live and love differently from you. And as a North Star, always keep in mind this board's shared goals of transparency, integrity, and compassion. As we head into the summer, our minds may be distracted and our to-do lists may seem never-ending. That's especially true when you are a public servant. But I want you all to know that we are aware of the time all of you put into these roles and how thankless they can be. Rest assured your contributions are welcomed by people who recognize your sacrifices for the sake of public service. Thank you.
Thank you. Please be seated, and clerk, please call the roll.
Cahill.
Here.
Chaplin.
Here.
Childress.
Yes.
Covert. Desart.
Here.
Eckhoff. Here. Evans.
Here.
Galassi.
Here.
Garcia.
Here.
Guston.
Here.
Krajewski. LaPlante. Ozog.
Here.
Rutledge.
Here.
Schwarzy. Tornatori. Yu.
Here.
Zay. And Covert.
Here.
Okay. I would like to invite Enrique Reyes, Dave Humphreys, Frank Cody, Member Desart, Eva Genevieve Scarborough, and Alex Zattenblum to the podium. Okay. Today, we acknowledge and celebrate LGBTQ+ Pride Month with a proclamation. We begin this morning with our annual celebration of Pride Month. We are thrilled to welcome several guests as we celebrate DuPage County's LGBTQ+ community and the good work of the two DuPage County organizations. We welcome Equality Downers Grove. Enrique Reyes serves as co-chair with his fellow board members, Dave Humphreys and Dave Cody. We also have District 5 board member, Don Desart, who is a Naper Pride board member, with Eva Genevieve Scarborough and Alex Zattenblum, also joining us from Naper Pride. Thank you all for the work you do in support of the LGBTQ community. I'll be happy to read our proclamation and ask our guests to say a few words. Okay, whereas the diversity of our community enriches our culture and fosters understanding among all people. And whereas DuPage County has a diverse lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer LGBTQ+ community, and the DuPage County Board is committed to supporting the visibility, dignity, and equality for all people in the community. And whereas members of the LGBTQ plus community are vital members of all fields and professions, providing an immersible impact to our economy, culture, and civic success of our county and our country, and contributing to a stronger community. And whereas LGBTQ Pride Month is celebrated every year during June to honor the 1969 Stonewall riots in New York City, where members of the LGBTQ plus community gathered at the Stonewall Inn to protect discriminatory laws and practices which started a national movement. And whereas DuPage County stands in solidarity with our LGBTQ plus residents, employees, and community partners, and reaffirms our commitment to creating a welcoming and inclusive environment. And whereas groups such as Equality Downers Grove and Naper Pride continue to advocate for the rights of the LGBTQ plus community and educate the public about issues of importance to the LGBTQ community in DuPage County. Now, therefore, it be resolved that I, Deborah A. Conroy, Chair of the DuPage County Board, and members of the County Board do hereby recognize June 2024 as LGBTQ plus Pride Month, salute groups such as EQDQ, Naper Pride, and others who continue their advocacy efforts and encourage all residents to reflect on the ways we can live and work together with a commitment to mutual respect and understanding. Second, all in favor? Aye. Approved this 11th day of June 2024 in Wheaton, Illinois.
Good morning, everyone. Eva, Alex, and I are proud members of Naper Pride. Naper Pride is primarily a service organization serving the whole community, not just the LGBTQ community. Naper Pride is a family-centered celebration of LGBTQ plus members of our community, and our goals are to, number one, provide access to critical resources to enhance the lives of LGBTQ community members. Number two, to bring people together of all walks of life, family, friends, neighbors, allies, in celebration of inclusivity for all people. Number three, to celebrate the contributions and amplify the voices of LGBTQ individuals. And number four, to add to the diversity and quality of the lives for everybody in our community. June is Pride Month, but we remind our community that our LGBTQ friends and neighbors are who they are 365 days a year and deserve inclusion and respect every single day. You've met Eva in years past. She's joined me for these events, but I want to introduce you to this amazing person as well. Alex just graduated from Waubonsie Valley High School in District 5, and they were the president of the school's Gay Straight Alliance, and they are an amazing singer. Who you can see perform, little plug here, at Naper Pride Fest coming up on Saturday, September 14th at Naper Settlement. We hope you can join us for Pride Fest, and thank you, Chair, for this proclamation.
On behalf of Naper Pride, I am grateful to accept this proclamation. Pride Month is a time for visibility and celebration of the queer community, a time to honor our struggles and be proud of what we have gained. But the fight for LGBTQ plus equality is not won, and we must not forget that. Members of the DuPage County Board continue to push back against the homophobic and transphobic laws and book bans that have flooded our country. Remember that a proclamation alone is not enough to keep the queer community in DuPage County safe. Action and support from you, our lawmakers, can do that. I want to see DuPage County, where I go to school, remain safe for teenagers like me. I want to keep being proud. Thank you for this important acknowledgement.
Hello. On behalf of Equality Downers Grove, I want to thank County Board Chair Conroy and the rest of the County Board members for this proclamation. At Equality Downers Grove, we work to create an accepting and equitable environment for LGBTQ people through education, social action, community events, that reflect the positive values of inclusion that we think already exist within our community. Proclamations such as this may seem routine these days, but they matter. Many of us didn't grow up in a time or place where local officials would recognize, let alone embrace, that we were a welcome part of the community, to be who we were born to be. Today is especially important for the LGBTQ teens and youth in DuPage County to know that their government has their back. We partner with other institutions like the Downers Grove Public Library and the Park District to increase our reach and create an impact in the community at large. We're particularly busy this month with our window painting initiative and Pride Fest event in downtown Downers Grove, but we aim to promote inclusivity and be a resource to our community year-round. Thank you for this proclamation.
Thank you for this wonderful proclamation. I would just like to briefly say how it's so important for visibility for the LGBT community. So young people and older people who are struggling with coming out, with accepting their own identity that they've had to live with and fight and hide and for so long. So knowing that there's a county and a place where they're seen and they're welcomed and they're wanted to be part of the whole community. It's so important. It saves lives. Because I know what it's like to hide, because I did until I was 50 years old. I hid because I was afraid of getting beaten up. And nobody ever said, hey, you're welcome here. You know, so thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, now I'd like to invite Lucy Chang Evans, Craig Diekman, John Nebel, and Randy Broadwell to the podium. Okay, today we also have a proclamation for OHSEM Communications Unit here in DuPage County. As we all know, in an emergency, seconds count. Today, we are pleased to recognize a powerful group of volunteers who are dedicated to helping our communities during emergencies. The Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Management is home to 20 volunteers who provide emergency communication support during large-scale events and emergencies. So what does that mean? These talented electricians, communication technicians, computer engineers, and licensed radio amateurs work quickly, creating patches so radio systems can talk to each other. They establish emergency phone and internet connections when those systems have gone down in an emergency. They make sure that first responders can communicate so that people get the help they need as soon as possible. They contribute thousands of hours to this mission each year as volunteers. I've seen this group at work, and they are impressive. I am thrilled to partner with JPS Committee Chair Lucy Evans in offering the following proclamation in praise to this elite unit. I'll read the proclamation and ask Randy and Lucy to speak. Whereas, Having reliable communication equipment and support during emergencies and planned events is crucial for ensuring the safety and success of response efforts. And whereas the members of the DuPage County Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Management Communications Unit, or COMU, utilized their skills, training, and experience to assist public safety agencies in DuPage County, the region, and the state's 101 times in 2023, and on pace to exceed that number in 2024. Whereas from January 2023 through May 2024, the COMU members dedicated more than 3,300 service hours, providing support day and night, selflessly volunteering their time throughout their commitment to public service. And whereas COMU diligently prepares communication plans for first responders that prioritizes the safety and success of their missions. And whereas the COMU members conduct themselves as quiet professionals, bringing positive representation to DuPage County. Whereas DuPage County seeks to recognize the value, accomplishments, and volunteerism of the DuPage County OHSEM Communications Unit. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Deborah A. Conroy, Chair of the DuPage County Board, and members of the County Board, do hereby commend and recognize the exceptional dedication, contributions, and service of the DuPage County Office of Homeland Security Communications Unit to the safety and well-being of our county. Second? All in favor? Okay, enacted this 11th day of June, 2024 in Wheaton, Illinois.
Good morning. Thank you guys so much for being here. I used to go to this store that's long gone now called Radio Shack, and my head would spin anytime I went in there. I couldn't find anything, but I would always ask somebody what I needed, and it was always something really oddly specific, and they would find it. And Radio Shack is gone, but if you want to recreate that experience, go visit our people, our volunteers at the comm unit. They know everything, and to steal something that Director Craig Diekman has said, these people can have an apple talk to a banana if you give them enough time. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all your work.
Thank you so much on behalf of the entire team. This is truly an honor for us. I work with a phenomenal team who puts the public of DuPage County ahead of themselves. And it is just an awesome specialized team to work with. A lot of people ask us why we put in so many hours, especially when we're volunteering. And some people also say it's probably a boys and their toys situation, and they're probably not that far off. In reality, though, to us, when a brave member, woman, men of our law enforcement or our fire agencies, who we should be thanking profusely for their service, come up to us and say, thank you. What you do makes a difference. It helps us to do our jobs and makes us more efficient. Wow, that is phenomenal. So in some way, if even in the smallest way, we are making DuPage County a little safer for the people that work and live here, if we're helping our first responders do their jobs better and keeping them safer and more efficient, if even we're making it where those first responders can end their shift safely and go home to their loved ones, that is why we do what we do, and that's our reward. I'd like to just take a quick moment to thank our spouses and our family members for never questioning or complaining the amount of time we put in, or that never questioned why we're bolting out the door at odd hours of the day or night, or even on holidays, because we're here to serve. I'd also like to thank Director Diekman, our coordinator, John Nebel, He's also our mentor. He's the one to thank. And to the entire DuPage County Chair, the board, and to all the DuPage departments for putting your trust in us and to honor us with this recognition proclamation today. Thank you so very much on behalf of the entire team.
Did you get everybody? Okay, on the matter of public comment, according to our county board rules, members of the public shall be afforded time to address the board. Individual remarks shall not exceed 3 minutes in length, or shall the total time provided for all remarks exceed 30 minutes. Our state's attorney will call the names of those who have signed up to speak.
Jerry Comlow.
Yes, my name is Jerzy Kamlo. I live on 0 South 451 Summit Avenue in Villa Park. I'd like to build a detached garage, but according to the zoning, I have to build almost 10 feet from my borderline, from my neighbor. But I have a lot of trees, and I like to build this garage like 4 feet from the borderline. Then I don't have to cut down the trees. I got beautiful tamarack tree, which we planted 4 years ago. I bring from Oregon State. I got big, huge mulberry tree, which this tree produce thousands of berries, which they feed, the birds. And another two, probably like 70 feet tall, the elm trees. So it's home for the birds, I love nature, I don't want to, cut down those trees and, they destroy, the home for the birds, So I like to ask you if you guys change the zoning, then I can build a garage like 4 feet from the borderline from my neighbor. That's it.
Thank you.
So much.
Karen Rugg.
I was touched by the man in the invocation saying that it should be common good, not individual good. And I was also touched by the young lady saying, I need to feel protected. I came here 10 years ago wanting to feel protected because they built a house that was flooding me out. And Jim Zay should have protected me. And I showed him all 3 sides of the property, including the side where the man's putting in mulch and filling in the topography. I never talked about my life personally, because I'm not here about personal stuff, but I'm a little sick of what's going on here. You're an artist, Mrs. LaPlante. I've been an artist my whole life. This is a bad picture, but I dug it out from the basement because it has a violin in it. The head's too big. This is what I do. Mr. Pitt, with all his puffiness, I've lived here for 44 years. My grandfather bought that property 78 years ago in 1946. I have no protection. I have no Bob Berlin to protect me. I'm just like you. I got this in the mail the other day. You know what it is. You know what it is. The last time I went was before COVID. I finally talked my husband into taking the train and seeing Rimsky-Korsakov at this matinee on Fridays. I'm just like you. He said he belonged to all these art leagues. His name is on one side, my name's on the other. I probably know his wife. We probably have mingled at the art league. The president of the art league knows me. I belong to so many art leagues in my life. And I've taught college for kids at Blackhawk College, for the gifted students, portraiture. I've been a presenter for portraiture. Knox College, Monmouth College, for the Henry College art students. I never brought all this up, but he wanted to bring up and puff himself up how you need a ravinia on our farmers' property. I love art just as much as you do. I don't go to 20 concerts a year. I like to take my husband to XRT concerts. But he has no right to take over our property. You have no right to stick your hand in the DuPage County residents' pockets. That's not for their benefit, that's for your benefit. I'm tired that you people like Jim today still haven't gotten a proper sway on.
Ms. Ruck, your 3 minutes is up.
Fine. One thing about 3 minutes. If you watch the Lake County Board meetings, they have a light box about this big, and you can see it clearly. And they tap it when it starts, and they tap it when it's over. And everybody can see it. Leave the farmers alone. If you want to do it like the Art Institute did. Do it like the Chicago Center, with private money. Put your own money in it and do it. Leave the taxpayers alone.
Didi Labolorte.
Hi, I'm here in support of DuPage Animal Control, but I'm also here to bring in light of some issues that are being brought to us as fellow people who are animal lovers and supporters. And I do want to note, I do make donations to the rescue because I am an animal activist. But right now, rescue partners are being denied access to become training partners merely because DuPage Animal Control does not like their training methods. I've had numerous rescues reach out to me saying, we've tried to reach out, but Carrie says no because they don't like our training method. We use prong collars. Prong collars are recognized by the AKC as a temporary training method to help dogs for behavior modifications. These rescues are pit bull rescues who allow 8 to 12 weeks of training before a dog will even be adopted into a home. They use fosters, they use world-renowned trainers, Cesar Millan has even come in to help, but yet they are denied access to pulling these animals. Instead, while animals are sitting at DuPage Animal Control, they're not getting trained, they're sitting in kennels. I watch them right now take a dog out for a 2-minute pee break and then brought right back in. How is that allowing the dog to get energy out? A dog who has no energy and who's exercised is going to be all right to be in a kennel. Secondly, a lot of the animals that are being put down are being put down for behavioral reasons. The reason it states behavioral is because behavior euthanasia does not count against live release rates, which is what we know rescues are all about, live release rates. So therefore, with that being said, we know that the actual live release rate is much lower than it's being posted. Next, a family was interested in adopting 2 Frenchies that were found 2 weeks ago. They put in an email and called the shelter. Within 3 days, those dogs were transferred to a rescue release partner. What happened to the 7-day stray hold? The family then asked, where did the dogs go so we can adopt them? They were told, we do not release that information. And then another family reached out last week. They wanted to adopt 2 puppies or 2 dogs that were in foster care. They were told by one of the staff that they do not adopt out 2 dogs because the dogs never met. The young family said, well,
Ms. Labelarde, your time is up.
okay. We're just here to help save animals, and I will email the board on all the issues that have been brought to us, and also send copies of all the emails that were sent to us.
Okay, if the board has received public comment via our online portal, per board policy, those comments were provided to members yesterday so they could be reviewed. Comments submitted electronically will be included in the minutes of this meeting. Now we're going to move on to a report from the DuPage Historical Museum, and I'd like to invite Michelle Podkova and Emily O'Brien to the podium. Each year, staff from the DuPage Historical Museum present their annual report to the county board. This year, we are joined by museum manager Michelle Podkova and the curator Emily O'Brien to provide an early update. Welcome and please proceed.
Thank you for your continued support of county history. In front of you, there's a double-sided summary of our 2023 annual report, as well as a card for our future exhibits that are for the next few years. In 2023, including 3 months of non-use of our main programming space due to a building preservation project, we still exceeded our numbers from the year before. Our visitor count was over 5,600 visitors. That's a 33% increase. Museums are still recovering from the pandemic, so we do expect in the next 2 years to overcome and have our pre-pandemic numbers for visitorship. All our other numbers have already, with 2023, exceeded the pre-pandemic numbers. Our total reach in 2023 was over 70,000. This is every person that the museum influences throughout our online resources, doing research for them over the phone. This is counting any parents, siblings, our camps, any participants, our rentals, and everyone that comes in the building for rentals. We had great exhibits last year, including our first year of Black Trailblazers, a repeating annual exhibit that celebrates Black history in February. And in 2024, it was also, again, well received, and every year after, we'll be adding more local stories of our local Black Trailblazers who pushed through social barriers in their own way. We also opened up 2 very popular exhibits in 2023, the Roaring Elgin on the popular Chicago Roaring Elgin electric train line, and Meet Me at the Fair, which talks about the 2 Chicago World's Fairs and their influence on DuPage County. Those 2 exhibits, by the way, just recently came down, and we just opened last weekend Extracurricular, which talks about the history of DuPage County high schools. Staff continues to work towards meeting museum best practices and incorporating these practices in everyday procedures, and we are currently working towards a renovation of our permanent exhibit, which I actually have a meeting about tomorrow with the designer. I also wanted to announce a little 2024 news. The museum earned an award earlier this year
for the Roaring Elgin exhibit from the Illinois Association of Museums. And we've also received an Illinois Humanities Rhodes Scholar grant, which will pay for a speaker this fall for our extracurricular exhibit. The speaker is John Goldsmith, and he's speaking about Dumoulin band uniforms. And his title is Two Frenchmen and a Goat. So I'm curious what the goat part is about. So if you're curious, please join us. That is in September. And so we just wanted to thank the county board again for all of your support for our county history. It's all of our history, and Emily and I are just stewards of it for you on your behalf and on the county's behalf. And once again, we are a free museum, so anyone watching today, we're open 6 days a week, and we'd love to see everyone stop by. Thank you.
Okay, a couple questions. Member Ozog.
Thank you. I want to thank you for all that you do, but my husband and I had an opportunity to visit in February during the Black History Month, and the exhibit was great, but I also want to let everyone know I hadn't been in years, and if you are a rail enthusiast, you must go to the basement and see the train. It's pretty amazing. So thank you for everything you do.
Thank you.
Member Evans.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I've also been to the museum, and it is really a nice little gem in Wheaton. And I wanted to point out that, and even one of the stakeholder quotes, no phones, was it no phones allowed? I think no photos allowed. So when I brought my kids there, I noticed that a lot of the exhibits, there's no photos allowed. But in today's age where everybody wants to take a selfie, to bring awareness to the museum, it might be nice if there's just some different spots where people know that photos are allowed. That way they'll share it, take pictures of your cute little kids in front of these displays, and bring more awareness to the museum as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Member Eckhoff.
In ancient times, I served with Bob Jacobson on the board, and we had an exhibit regarding the DuPage County Board. Is that still there?
There is a small section of our permanent exhibit that does discuss the government, yes.
And is there still a video with the county board?
The video is about how DuPage County got its name. There is a photo of the county board.
There used to be an 8-track tape.
It was upgraded to video disc, but since has been upgraded to DVD.
Well, it showed the county board in action, and our county board chairman that was in that video was Jack Knuffer. So I suggested that they upgrade it. I said Dan Cronin would be happy to be in it with the then board, and I'm sure our current chairwoman would love to be in it, so I think that needs to be redone. And
we do
we've
have
got
our
so
current
many photogenic people in the front 2 rows.
We do have a photo of the current board on display in our foyer, as well as that is the exhibit that will be updated. It was created in 1988, which is why we are working on designing that as part of a joint effort with the county. And then I'm sure they will have new suggestions. We are designing it with a design firm who I'm sure will have new ways to make it a little more interactive than what it currently is.
Okay, thanks.
Member Covert.
Thank you. And thank you for coming and your wonderful presentation. I was looking at your website right now, and for people with young kids, I'm so excited to see birthday party options with the Victorian theme. So that's pretty cool. And your event rentals are very reasonably priced, and it's a beautiful place. And thank you so much for your hard work in doing this. And I can't wait to have a birthday party for one of my own kids.
Thank you.
Okay. Member Cahill.
Thank you very much. I noticed on one of your graphs that visitor by location, it's mainly 42% are from Wheaton. So how is it that maybe in your marketing or somehow you can expand to try to let other residents of DuPage County know what a wonderful jewel this is? I have been several times, but I would like to reach out to other members of the community.
So that number has actually fallen in the last decade. So that's good. We're working. That means we're making progress. But our marketing department actually has been focusing on joining many of the different chambers in the area, in the whole county, and then also we reach out and do advertising with other park districts and get our name on other city websites. So I think Carroll Stream had us on their website for a while, on the city website. So we're trying to break through some of those, build those partnerships up. So it is a constant effort that we've been making, and in the last year we've actually made quite a bit of headway with that too. So we're working towards that. And if you have any ideas, anyone, please feel free to share them. We're happy to broaden our audience.
Okay, Member you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you so much for your presentation. I just wanted to mention that I went to the Black Trailblazers exhibit, and I thought it was so well done and really interesting and super enlightening. So I really appreciated that, and I only wish that we had a more permanent exhibit to have the Black Trailblazers in a particular section of the museum. I understand that space is limited, though, but that's my wish. Thank you.
Thank you. Our permanent exhibit will be much more diverse in its coverage of history. Again, it's over a 30-year-old exhibit, so times were very different back then, and we're hoping to bring through all of that diversity in a greater way.
That's great to hear. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, thank you, Michelle and Emily.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm pleased to congratulate all of our county departments, courthouse staff, and elected officials who were recognized with one of 7 NACO Achievement Awards that we won. We received notification Friday that DuPage County programs were selected in a variety of areas, including workforce development, stormwater, IT, and GIS, and for programs taking place in our courts. We're proud to be recognized for our county's innovative, effective initiatives that strengthen service for residents. Okay. Now, to the consent agenda. I seek a motion to approve the consent agenda items. Okay. DuPage County Board, 24/17/36, DuPage County Board, regular meeting minutes, Tuesday, May 28th, 2024, 24/16/25, 5/25/2024, auto debit pay list, 24/16/28, 5/24/2024 pay list, 24/16/91, 5/31/2024 pay list, 24/16/92, 3/31, 5/31/2024 auto debit pay list, 24/17/4, 6/4/2024 pay list, 24/16/29, 5/24/2024 IDOR additional wire transfer, 24/17/11, 6/4/2024 IDOR wire transfer, 24/17/10 change orders to various contracts as specified in the packet. All in favor? Aye. Okay, now we'll move on to County Board and Vice Chair Childress.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to rise and move on CBR 3024, resolution establishing DuPage County Disadvantaged Minority and Women-Owned Business Enterprise Program.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Oh, I'm sorry, Member Eckhoff.
Thank you. I won't repeat everything I said at Finance. I'm sure
Thank
you're all
you.
happy about that. I just wanted to mention that I don't think the resolution accurately reflects what we are trying to do. I'm supportive of the project as a whole, but I think it needs to emphasize the positive things and define more the discrimination reference. So I'll be voting against this.
Okay, Member Childress. It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Childress.
Yes.
Covert.
Aye.
Desart. Aye. Eckhoff. Evans.
Aye.
Galassi. Aye. Garcia.
Aye.
Guston. Krajewski. LaPlante. Aye. Ozog. Aye. Rutledge. Aye. Schwarzy. Aye. Tornatori. Aye. You.
Aye.
Zay. Aye. Cahill. Aye. And Chaplin.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam
now,
Chair.
Sorry, Krajewski just entered the room. Did you want to?
Okay, thank you, Member Childress. Okay, Finance and Member Chaplin.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So under committee update, the budget survey, So far, we've had 1,332 responses, which is really great. We're a little ahead of last year at our first week out, so that's really encouraging. And I was just advised by staff that several municipalities shared our budget survey either on their social media or through their newsletter. So it was Bloomingdale, Carroll Stream, Darien, Downers Grove, Elmhurst, Lombard, Roselle, West Chicago, Westmont, Winfield, and Woodridge. So we really appreciate them helping us get the word out, because it's so important that people take time to fill out that survey and have a voice in their government. So with that, I will move on. FIR 9324, additional appropriation for the coroner's fee fund in the amount of $24,000.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Chaplin.
Aye.
Childress.
Yes.
Covert.
Aye.
Desart. Eckhoff. Evans.
Aye.
Galassi. Garcia.
Aye.
Guston. Krajewski. LaPlante. Ozog. Rutledge. Schwarzy. Tornatori. You.
Aye.
Zay. And Cahill.
Okay, Member Chaplin.
Thank you. I move approval of FIR 9424, acceptance and appropriation of the Illinois Department of Healthcare and Family Services Access and Visitation Grant in the amount of $102,000.
Leave is granted. Member Chaplin.
Thank you. I move approval of FIR 9624, budget transfers 6/11/2024, various companies and accounting units.
Leave is granted. Member Chaplin.
Thank you. I move approval of FIR 9724, authorization of a contract with Metropolitan Alliance of Police, MAP Chapter 174, Coroner's Office.
Leave is granted. Member Chaplin.
Thank you. I move approval of FIP 1524, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order issued to Riverdale Travel to provide travel management services system for DuPage County employees from the period of June 12, 2024 through June 30th, 2025 for a contract total amount not to exceed $307,088.
Leave is granted. Member Chaplin.
Thank you. I move approval of FIP 1724, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Midland Paper to furnish and deliver copy and bond paper for all county departments for the period of July 1st, 2024 through November 30th, 2025 for a contract total amount not to exceed $152,219.40.
Leave is granted. Member Chaplin.
Thank you. I move approval of FICO 1624, recommendation for the approval of amendment to purchase order 67781 SERV for a contract issued to Amazon Capital for the purchase of office supplies and other miscellaneous items to increase the contract in an amount of $10,000 to include 2 additional grant-funded lines for the 18th Judicial Circuit Court and Workforce Development, resulting in amended contract total amount not to exceed $791,508, an increase of 1.28%.
Leave is granted. Member Chaplin.
Thank you. And finally, I move on FICO 1724, recommendation for the approval of an amendment to purchase order 70061 SERV for a contract issued to Titan Image Group, Inc. for the purchase of printed business envelopes for various departments to increase the contract in the amount of $3,000 to include printing services for Public Works, resulting in amended contract total amount not to exceed $35,995 and 9.09% increase.
Leave is granted. Thank you, Member Chaplin.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay. Animal Services and Member Krajewski.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a real brief update. I know we had another lady in talking about animal services. We've had a few of those recently. Usually about 90% of everything they say is not true, and we've reached out to each one of them. We've had Dr. Hannick and Laura had the group of 3 or 4 in a couple of weeks ago, went through everything and how we do things, and then we didn't know, it's good, and they want to help out. Just a couple of comments today. The first thing is a committee meeting we'll bring on next week, Tuesday. I'll put on the agenda and let Laura explain to everybody. We do work with rescues, but we do require rescues to follow certain training procedures, and she was correct in that using whether it's shock collars or prongs, we very limitedly will work with those rescues. Reasons behind it, we'll talk to committee why that is. The numbers in live release rates, behavioral ones that are put down, do count. And so when our live release rate is 92%, they are ones of the 8%. It's not that they're excluded, they are included. So when we're at 92%, that includes ones that are for behavioral issues, which means there are very, very few. As far as the dogs getting out walking, they are walked a tremendous amount of time. They track that on a whiteboard. When volunteers come in, they pick them up. Now, if you're in a car, maybe she stopped by there and saw a dog for 2 minutes. When Dr. Hannick does surgery, she'll give the dog anesthesia, and then they'll take the dog out to relieve itself maybe for 2 minutes and then bring it back in for surgery. So that could be an example of what she saw, but they are times when before surgeries they do get 1 or 2 minutes before the surgery, but in general they're out there multiple times a day in either the pens or volunteers take them for walks. Again, Laura will reach out to the lady that spoke today and try to answer all her questions and help educate her as far as how things are done. And at committee level next week, we will have on there about our policy and what rescues we work at and have to follow our training procedures. Not to mention that Dr. Hannick will know, and our staff, some of the behavioral dogs will be good or not good with certain behavioral issues, and let them know as they pull them out to rescues. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Member Krajewski. And on to development and Member Tonatori.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move approval of DCO 35-24, zoning 2421, to approve a variation to reduce the interior side setback from 10 feet to approximately 4 feet for a new detached garage.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Tornatori.
Aye.
You.
Aye.
Zay. Aye. Cahill. Aye. Chaplin.
Aye.
Childress. Yes. Covert.
Aye.
Desart. Aye. Eckhoff. Aye. Evans.
Aye.
Galassi. Aye. Garcia.
Aye.
Guston. Aye. Krajewski. Aye. LaPlante. Aye. Ozog. Aye. Rutledge. Aye. And Schwarzy.
Okay, Member Tonatori.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move approval of DCO 37-24, zoning 2426, K&D Elite LLC, for a variation to reduce the interior side setback from required 10 feet to approximately 1 foot to build a detached garage.
Okay. Leave is granted, Member Tonatori.
Concludes my report. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you, Member Tonatori. Economic Development and Member LaPlante.
Thank you, Chair. No comment, an update today. Thank you.
Okay. And Environment and Member Rutledge.
Thank you, Chair Conroy. I was expecting a little more down there. So, no, nothing to vote on today, but I did want to point out that high temperatures in 2023 knocked off a long previous 9th temperature to make the last 10 years the highest temperatures that we have ever experienced in our environment. So I think that now, more importantly than ever, we need to commit to sustainable practices in our county. Also, they're predicting just a massive hurricane season because the ocean waters are so much warmer than they've been. So I know we're a little isolated here in the Midwest, but we all have connections to people on the coast that this is going to impact hugely. I have family members in Florida can hardly afford their homeowners insurance anymore. So the insurance companies are noticing this, and I think we need to do a better job. Also, I wanted to point out that the copy paper item that we voted on gets a little smaller every year, and I wanted to thank the department heads for really thinking about the number of copies that they make of things, because that saves our taxpayers money. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Member Rutledge. And Human Services and Member Schwarzy.
Good morning, and thank you, Madam Chair. Just with regards to a committee update, just a couple things going on in the county. Again, a reminder that the DuPage Care Center golf outing is June 28th. There's still room to sign up for that. On Friday, the 14th, which is coming up in a few days, the Community Services Senior Fair will be held in this building. There'll be over 30 vendors helping and offering seniors different things to help them with life, basically. So, on to agenda items. I'll take a motion to approve item HSR 1324, a recommendation for approval of a Home Investment Partnership Act Funds Program Agreement between DuPage County and Addison Horizon Limited Partnership, Addison Horizon Senior Living Community, in the amount of $5,250,000 for construction of a 62-unit affordable rental housing development for seniors.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Schwarzy.
Aye.
Tornatori. Aye. You.
Aye.
Zay. Aye. Cahill. Aye. Chaplin. Aye. Childress. Yes. Covert.
Aye.
Desart. Aye. Eckhoff. Aye. Evans.
Aye.
Galassi. Aye. Garcia. Aye. Guston. Yes. Krajewski. Aye. LaPlante. Aye. Ozog. And Rutledge.
Okay, Member Schwarzy.
Thank you. I move on HSR 1424, a recommendation for approval of a scrivener's error on the agreement between DuPage County and DuPage Pads, Inc. on page 1, paragraph 1, under resolution HSR 4023.
Leave is granted. Member Schwarzy.
I move on HSP 2124, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order issued to Professional Medical and Surgical Supply Inc. to furnish and deliver ostomy, tracheostomy, urological and enteral supplies and services, and enteral feeding formulas for the DuPage Care Center for the period July 30th, 2024 through July 29th, 2025 for a total contract not to exceed $58,000.
Leave is granted. Member Schwarzy.
Thank you. I move on 241682, HSP 88A23, amendment to resolution HSP 8823, issued to WellSky Corporation for the purchase of additional software and training for community services for the period November 1st, 23 through October 31st, 24 to increase the encumbrance in the amount of $7,330 for a new contract, total of $51,050.48, a 16.77% increase.
Leave is granted. Thank you, Member Schwarzy. And Judicial and Public Safety, Member Evans.
Thank you, Madam Chair. No committee update today.
Okay. Legislative and Member Desart.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The House advanced the first fiscal year 2025 in Washington, D.C., the spending bill of the year when it approved the Military Construction and Veterans Affairs Funding Bill with the support of 4 Democrats. That bill faces a veto threat from President Biden, though, and is not expected to be considered by the Senate. Also announced this week, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will address Congress on July 24th at the invitation of House Speaker Mike Johnson, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, and House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. Our thanks to Bill Viney for that report. In Springfield, a $53.1 billion state budget was approved and signed by the governor. The fiscal year begins July 1st. And the budget boosts spending by $400 million from what the governor requested and slightly reduces the governor's tax hike plan. I've been following this one closely, regarding the grocery tax elimination that we've been hearing about, HB 3144. Senate amendments contains, among other things, a delay in the effective date of January 1st, 2026 now. Also, much important, we will convene our legislative committee meeting following today's board meeting. Our Springfield lobbyist, Chip Humes, will be here in person, so that's exciting. And Mark Polis will be joining us via Zoom from England, also exciting. So I hope you'll join us for a wrap-up of the Springfield session. You all are welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Desart. Public Works and Member Garcia.
Thank you, Chair Conroy. I make a motion to approve FMR 224, Memorandum of Agreement for the Management of the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency Climate Pollution Reduction Grant Award.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Garcia.
Aye.
Guston. Aye. Krajewski. Aye. LaPlante. Aye. Ozog. Aye. Rutledge. Aye. Schwarzy. Tornatore. Aye. You.
Aye.
Zay. Aye. Cahill. Aye. Chaplin. Aye. Childress. Yes. Covert.
Aye.
Desart. Aye. Eckhoff. Evans.
Aye.
And Galassi.
Okay. Member Garcia.
I make a motion to approve FMP 002524, recommendation for the approval of a contract to A-Lamp Concrete Contractors, Inc. for campus sidewalk repairs and improvements for facilities management for the period of June 11, 2024 through November 30th, 2025 for a contract total amount not to exceed $2,730,447.30.
Okay, we'll need a roll call, please.
Garcia.
Aye.
Guston. Aye. Krajewski. Aye. LaPlante. Aye. Ozog. Aye. Rutledge. Aye. Schwarzy. Aye. Tornatore. Aye. You.
Aye.
Zay. Aye. Cahill. Aye. Chaplin.
Aye.
Childress. Yes. Covert.
Aye.
Desart. Aye. Eckhoff. Aye. Evans.
Aye.
And Galassi.
Aye. Okay, Member Garcia.
I make a motion to approve FMP 002624, recommendation for the approval of a contract to Advantage Paving Solutions, Inc. for asphalt repairs at the 424 and 501 parking lots for facilities management for the period of June 11th to 2024 through November 30th, 2025 for a contract total not to exceed $436,065.52.
Leave is granted. Member Garcia.
I make a motion to approve FMP 002724, recommendation for the approval of a contract to Excel Electric, Inc. to install a medium voltage B feeder extension on the West Campus for facilities management for the period of June 11, 2024 through November 30th, 2024, for a contract total amount not to exceed $94,553.
Leave is granted. Member Garcia. Did we get a,
Someone has to say leave.
who said leave? Okay. Galassi. Thank you.
Okay, finally, I make a motion to approve FMP 002824, recommendation for the approval of a contract to Ashland Door Solutions LLC to provide door maintenance, door sales, and installation as needed for county facilities for facilities management for the period of July 19, 2024 through July 18, 2025 for a contract total amount not to exceed $45,000 per renewal option under bid award 23080 FM. First of 3 options to renew.
Okay, leave is granted. Thank you, Member Garcia. And Stormwater and Member Zay.
Morning, Madam Chair. For committee update, we were able to get some unique PR in stormwater last week. NBC Peacock show called Mr. Throwback was filmed Tuesday night in the Elmhurst Quarry. Despite the lightning and rain delays, the filming was completed in one night and the set was restored. The show's producers worked with the City of Elmhurst and our stormwater team to coordinate the activities for filming. I want to thank our staff for being out there and supervising, not during great weather. I offered to be a dead body. They said no, so maybe I'll make my
Opportunity
debut.
lost.
I know everybody's just shucks here on that, so I'll move on. I ask for a motion on SMR 1-24, recommendation intergovernmental agreement between the County of DuPage and Addison Township Highway Department for Country Club Highlands Phase 2 Drainage Improvement Project.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Zay.
Aye.
Cahill. Aye. Chaplin.
Aye.
Childress. Yes. Covert.
Aye.
Desart. Aye. Eckhoff. Aye. Evans. Aye. Galassi. Aye. Garcia. Aye. Guston. Aye. Krajewski. Aye. LaPlante. Aye. Ozog. Rutledge. Aye. Schwarzy. Aye. Tornatori. Aye. And you.
Aye. Okay, Member Zay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Move on to SMP 14-24. Approval of an intergovernmental agreement between the County of DuPage and Naperville Park District for permeable pavers at Community Garden Plots Project, amount not to exceed $60,000.
Leave is granted. Member Zay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Move on to SMP 15-24. Approval of a contract issued to Farnsworth Group for on-call drainage professional engineering services for stormwater management period of June 11th, 2024 through November 30th, 2025. Contract not to exceed $60,000.
Leave is granted. Thank you, Member Zay.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, Strategic Planning, Member Covert.
Thank you, Member. Thank you, Madam Chair. Today, we passed our resolution in establishing the DuPage County Disadvantaged Business Enterprise, Minority Business Enterprise, and Women Business Enterprise Program. And this was a long time in the making through Strategic Planning Committee, about the last 5 to 6 years, and I'm very pleased that it finally passed today. This program's been carefully crafted and backed by an evidence-based approach. We finally have a program in our county that provides opportunities to so many businesses, and I really appreciated Member Ozog's comments too, that she heard about this 1985, 40 years ago, and it's finally time. It's time to get started, and we're very excited for this program. So I want to thank Madam Chair, our board, and our staff for their cooperation and their hard work towards a brighter future for all. So thank you, everyone, so much.
Thank you, Member Covert. Okay, Technology and Member Yu.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As Madam Chair mentioned, that DuPage County recently won 7 achievement awards from the National Association of Counties. I just want to bring attention to the work of the IT department for 4 of the 7 awarded projects. These projects could not have been possible without the innovative efforts of IT. The first one is the real-time winter weather solution. Thank you to the GIS team for helping the Department of Transportation develop a real-time application to track and monitor snowplow operations during a snow event. Second, thank you so much again to GIS for helping with the Police Transparency and Crime Data Portal with the Sheriff's Office, with the online portal that shares data with both law enforcement and the public, and officers can now analyze data and observe trends and movement of crime. And third, Thank you so much to the web team for the DuPage County website redesign, for restructuring our county homepage and making it so much more accessible to all residents. And last but not least, the 18th Judicial Circuit Court QR Code Project. Congratulations to the web and network teams who created the QR code to help victims of domestic violence quickly and safely seek the resources they need. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Yu. Transportation and Member Ozog.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to approve DTR 002424, awarding resolution issued to Siebert Landscaping Company for the 2024-2025 Highway Vegetative Maintenance Program for an estimated county cost of $484,297.50 per lowest responsible bid.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Ozog.
Yes.
Rutledge. Schwarzy. Tornatore. Yu.
Aye.
Zay. Cahill. Chaplin. Childress. Covert.
Aye.
Desart. Eckhoff. Evans.
Aye.
Galassi. Garcia. Guston. Krajewski. And LaPlante.
Member Ozog.
Thank you. I move for approval of DTR 002524, awarding resolution issued to Siebert Landscaping Company for the 2024-2025 various highway landscaping programs for an estimated county cost of $276,125 per lowest responsible bid.
Leave is granted. Thank you, Member Ozog.
Thank you. I move for approval of DTR 002624, intergovernmental agreement between the County of DuPage and Bloomingdale Township to extend road resurfacing beyond county right-of-way on multiple side streets along Swift Road within the township. County to be reimbursed $2,366.60.
Leave is granted. Member Ozog.
Thanks. I move for approval of DTR 002724, resolution authorizing an intergovernmental agreement between the County of DuPage and the City of Warrenville for the transfer of jurisdiction of County Highway 1 River Road from Warrenville Road to Ferry Road and County Highway 32 Warrenville Road from Winfield Road to River Road from the County of DuPage to the City of Warrenville and assumption of routine maintenance responsibilities over certain multi-use paths.
Leave is granted. Member Ozog.
Thank you. I move for approval of, DTP 003924, recommendation for the approval of a contract to Hard Rock Concrete Cutters Incorporated for sidewalk saw cutting as needed for the Division of Transportation for the period June 11, 2024 through June 10, 2025 for a contract total not to exceed $45,000 per municipal partnering initiative bid, second of 3 options to renew.
Leave is granted. Member Ozog.
And finally, I move for approval of DTP 004024, recommendation for the approval of a contract to Max Body Shop Incorporated for auto body repairs for the period June 14, 2024 through June 30, 2025 as needed for a contract total not to exceed $79,900 per lowest responsible bid, first of 3 renewals, Division of Transportation $29,900, Sheriff's Office $50,000.
Leave is granted. Thank you, Member Ozog.
Thank you.
Okay, and now on to discussion in 24-17-16. Is there any discussion? Seeing none. Old business. Anybody, any members? Okay, Member Galassi.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to discuss, everyone has a handout here from Hinsdale Community Services. If you want to take a look at that, Hinsdale Community Services Food Pantry services the southeast corner of DuPage and notably the primary food source for Hinsdale Lake Terrace community. We know this community is in the middle of a food desert, and so these services are critical to these constituents. Hinsdale Community Services has requested a refrigerated food truck. In an email from Wendy Mikalski, their executive director, they explain the pantry is serving roughly 175 families weekly, up from a post-pandemic number of roughly 100 to 125 families weekly. HCS has stated that they receive a majority of their rescue food from Costco in Oak Brook, which is approximately 30 minutes to their satellite pantry at Ann Jeans, which is enough time for already fragile produce to deteriorate and even spoil, particularly in these hot summer months. If able to refrigerate, this same food would be able to be served to the pantry guests, fulfilling a significant need. For these reasons, time is of the essence for HCS, and I am proposing we grant them this van out of the contingency fund. I have discussed this with Human Services Committee Chair, Member Schwarzy, also Member Evans and Member Krajewski from District 3. So I hope that everyone on the board could support this urgency, this need that is very urgent. Thank you.
Okay, Member Rutledge.
I'm sorry, I I didn't know if that was, I'm not responding to Member Galassi's issue. I just wanted to remind everybody once again that if NACO is a valuable resource for us all, and I think we should take those opportunities when we can. So if you'd like to do that, make your decisions this week.
Okay, Member Schwarzy and then Member Krajewski.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm going to respond to Member Galassi's comments. So I want to give the board a little bit of a history. It's a very recent history, so you're probably all familiar. So we earmarked $1 million for round one of our infrastructure capital grants for our food pantries. HCS did get an initial first round grant of around $29,000. Now, immediately after we gave those grants out, Member Galassi came to me and said HCS was unaware that vehicles, trucks specifically, were eligible for the grant. And so then comes this board's discussion after round one, and we earmarked another $500,000 for round two. Now we got $1.2 million in requests for round two. So our committee discussed this, and we, at the moment, we have decided to give those who did not receive a round one grant preference over anybody asking for a second grant in round two. So HCS did not qualify for a round two grant, basically because they already got a round one grant. Now, there's no doubt in my mind if there was no misunderstanding, so to speak, in that they would have put in for that truck in round one, and they most likely would have received it. So with that being said, I am 100% in favor of getting them their truck. And if we could do it with contingency funds, I think that would be absolutely perfect. We could save what's left of the $1.1 million, which is going to be around $600,000. We could save that for food. I'm not opposed to using some of that for this in particular item, mostly because I'm a big believer that this area is a huge need in DuPage County. So I'll leave it at that. I'm supporting Member Galassi's discussion to provide this truck. Thank you.
Okay, Member Krajewski.
Yeah, thank Member Evans and Member Galassi for bringing us forward. Just a little more history back when we first, as a board, and it predates some of the board members who got here this last cycle, when we started to put that $5 million in for food insecurity. Members Chaplin, Member Garcia, and myself actually went out to Hinsdale, and there was a check presentation for a small check from the DuPage Foundation. But at that meeting 3.5 years ago, they mentioned to me that that was their number one need, was a refrigerator truck. And just this area they service there, in that letter we got from the exec director, 85% of those people are under the federal poverty rate. In addition, as Member Galassi said, it's a desert out there because the closest food store is 2.5 miles away, and the next one is Whole Foods, which is a little bit expensive. So again, I think, Nick, as long as we all maybe get a consensus, that at least 10 of us would support that, which I think there is, maybe we could just bring that forward next week or next 2 weeks from now on our agenda. Thank you.
Okay, Member Chaplin is next.
Thank you. I wasn't sure if Member Schwarzy was going to mention our contingency fund, so I just want to, make sure that, we do have the funds, and this would probably be a very good use of that money because, like they said, there's no grocery store in that area, and I think it would serve this population very well.
Okay, Member Dessart is next.
Thank you. And I appreciate the need here in Hinsdale. I really do. But number one, I believe this conversation should stay in committee for the time being. And number two, I'm all about everything being equitable. And this organization already, we agreed in committee that round one people who received grants would not be eligible for round two. So I think by approving this, it would open a huge can of worms that all of round one recipients then should and would be entitled for round two grants. And I just don't see that that's financially possible. So I would stick to our agreement in committee where we agreed that round one recipients would not be eligible for round two funds. And again, I don't believe that, I believe this belongs in committee, not here just yet. Thank you.
Okay, Member Guston.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think this is an exception, though. I mean, you've got 80% poverty rate here, and I think that if other organizations have a same kind of need, we should probably put them higher on the list because we know that that is going to be used for that. Government obviously has a difficult time pivoting, but I think this is an immediate need, and we need to help this area. And it's not my district, but 80% below the poverty level and having limited food is an immediate need. So I would support this.
Okay, I don't think we need to debate the need. I think we all understand on this board that poverty does not have a zip code, so let's not go back and forth about that issue. Member Schwarzer, did you want to reply to some of what's being said?
Just real briefly, so our committee had discussed revisiting those entities who were asking for a second grant in round 2, and the discussion led to the fact that as staff determines how much ARPA money's left, we would revisit this. Now, and that was the plan for HCS, but when I spoke with Member Galassi yesterday, they sent an email discussing the timeline for this vehicle and how the importance of the timeline sort of precludes us waiting to find out what's going on with the ARPA grant. So that's where I'm coming from as the HS committee chair. Thank you.
Okay, Member Yu.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I would really like to support this request, but I do have a question in the sense that it's my understanding that in the first round, HCS received $29,000 for a freezer, cooler, and a forklift. And if this, in fact, is the priority need, which is this refrigerated van, I'm just wondering if in the first round that money has already been dispersed, and if not, if this is the priority, if it can be offset that, maybe they don't need the freezer cooler, maybe they just need the refrigerator van. That's what I want to know.
Oh, thank you, Mary Catherine.
The money has been dispersed. So.
Okay. Member Cahill.
Thank you very much. I'm supportive of this, but what I wanted to say is that I remember looking at the first list of all the requests, and there was such disparity between what different food pantries were requesting. And it is my understanding that some of the food pantries did not understand that they could have a refrigerated truck. So there was small amounts and there was really large amounts. So I think since it was our first time, maybe the communication wasn't exact, and this is a dire need, so I am 100% supportive.
Okay, Member Garcia.
Thank you, Chair. I am in total support of this. I actually work at a food pantry garden, and I see the food as it comes in, and as the weather heats up, the food that's coming in, just last week we had a load of carrots that came in. The stores or whoever's actually donating it is holding the food longer. And so if we can keep it in a refrigerated truck, it's actually going to make it more edible for the people. So this is an immediate need. HSC does great things, and I know this is an area that we're trying to help with Hinsdale Lake Terrace, which we've also called it Willowbrook Corners, but they prefer Hinsdale Lake Terrace now. So I really think that if we would have had the money in HS, they definitely would have got it. And since there is a miscommunication, not on our staff's part, because I think they made it very clear that trucks were allowed, but we're all human and we sometimes just don't read things correctly. And because there was a miscommunication and they are using what they got in their first round, which has been granted, I think that this is something that we should give them so that they could get the food to the people in a easier and a better quality of time.
Thank you, Member Garcia. Member LaPlante.
Thank you, Chair Conroy. I sit on this committee, and I think Member Cahill said it well, that this was a miscommunication of people not understanding what they were eligible for. So I would just like to add my voice in support of this. This is a real concrete, obvious need that we can really have an impact on. Thank you.
Okay. And I think also, just as part of the conversation, we came to the realization that food insecurity is one of the biggest issues that we face as a county, as a country. And we also realized that we could do refrigerator trucks, and we're looking at more sustainability and supporting their ability to continue to get the food out and make sure that the food is the best quality. So this has kind of been something that's evolved organically. So I don't think, there's no blame here. There's no blame here, and there's plenty of need. So, the debate is really not necessary. Member Desart.
Thank you. Yeah, food insecurity is definitely an issue that we have to address. My point is that I understand the need for this Hinsdale organization. My point is this. For this second round, we as in the committee, approved $500,000, $500,000. We're already at, from last committee meeting, $557,000. So we already need to cut $57,000 from 19 organizations. So we're already over our approved budget. And I really believe that if we give this organization money for a van, then we have to go back to all of the other organizations who got money in round one and reopen them, saying, oh, maybe you didn't misunderstand. Let's give you a van and give you a van and give you a van. We've got to open it up to everybody or it's just not fair. And by the way, talking about food, I'm sorry, I'm speaking. Talking about food insecurity, all of these organizations address food insecurity, not just that one organization. So again, open it up to everybody or not. Thank you.
And that's and we all understand that very clearly. There's no misunderstanding there. And also, this will be something that's voted on, so there will be a vote in that committee. Member Schwarzy, did you have something you wanted to say about this?
I'll finish up, but I think...
Member Covert.
Yeah, thank you.
I want to make the point that I think everybody agrees that there is food insecurity, and we're all in support of providing what we can as a county to people and communities in need. But my seatmate, Member Desart, does make a logical point. She's, and I understand that if we don't want to open up a can of worms because the first round was already done. If we go to the second round, or if we give them more money for the refrigeration truck, and I'm not saying we shouldn't, but I'm saying if we do, then we do have to be equitable and we do have to be fair to everybody else. So if we could find a solution to provide without opening a can of worms, I think that should be up for discussion, and we should look into that because it can open a can of worms. There's a lot of food pantries out there that may have the same request that they didn't make the first time.
Member Schwarzy.
Thank you very much. So I appreciate everybody's comments here, and what Member Desart's saying is true in that our committee has decided to focus on the round 2 grants for those who haven't received the round 2 grant. And the requests are now at $551,000, so there's roughly $51,000 more than we tentatively earmarked. With that being said, we do still have around $600,000 in our food budget, so to speak, that my goal is to save for food, because you just never know what things are going to look like down the road. We do currently, our $1.5 million budget for food does take us through June through 2025. That's money strictly for the food pantries, the Northern Illinois Food Bank program. With that being said, as far as equitability and so forth, I will say I only received one message that there was some confusion in our round 1 grants. I only received one message from all the food pantries, and that was from HCS almost immediately after we awarded those grants. I didn't receive any confusion, any questions about, oh, we didn't know you could do that. So I think that's an important note. Also, we are going to have, if we do currently have more than $500,000 worth of grants. So when we revisit this, hopefully in the next couple months, with the reconciliation of what ARPA money is left, we may be able to get all these round 2 grants done. We may be able to. If we don't, guess what we're going to have to do? We're going to have to decide, do we want to do any of them? Do we want to prioritize, and I think that's an important word, prioritize, because, you know, we can't, I mean, we only have so much money. And I will say that I'm a big believer that this in particular request by Member Galassi and by HCS is a high priority, and I would like to see it get done. Thank you.
Okay, Member Chaplin.
Yeah, and yes, and I do completely understand where Member DeStart's coming from, but just, I'm thinking of this kind of similar to our Poise for Success dollars that we gave. So that was kind of a one-off. We took them separately and we gave money to them. It was a special distribution of funds to help them in that time. So it was kind of a special situation. And maybe if we look at this as a special situation, especially with the area that it's serving, we do all have to be very, as I talked about in Finance Committee, you know, we're going to be running out of these funds, and we're not going to be able to, you know, have the ability to help as much as we have in the past. But knowing the area that this is going to serve, and our priorities out in that area, trying to get them food and improve that area out there, I think that this could be considered maybe another one-off, similar to what we did with Poise for Success. And maybe if we viewed it that way, it might just be another way of looking at it. You know. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Member Chaplin. Member Galassi.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I really do appreciate the conversation regarding this important topic. A few points I want to make. I do want to really thank Member Schwarzy, the chair of the committee, for pointing out the timeline, and that I did immediately call him as soon as the round one was completed, because I did know that HCS was looking for a refrigerated truck, and it seemed odd that they hadn't requested one. So I appreciate that he's pointing out that I was the only one that contacted him after the first round closed to bring this to his attention, which I think is important information. Also, I do appreciate Member Chaplin's comparison to this to Poise to Success, which is why I'm recommending that we use the money out of the contingency fund for this one-off ask, so that we can leave the remaining $600-ish thousand that's in the food insecurity fund for food itself. So that's what I'm hoping to get support for today.
Okay. Member Krajewski.
I was just going to say, I know Member Schwartz is looking for more money, but we could just direct staff to come forward and maybe make a budget amendment, take about $400,000 out of this year's travel, seriously, and just move it over. I mean, well, whatever, 500,000. I mean, it's there. It's 800. We're never going to use 800 this year, so we got 400 or 500 in travel. It's never going to be used. Just move it over to Schwarzy, a budget amendment, and then you can fund. Serious, no, but I'm serious. I mean, it's just
Okay.
It's
All right.
a fake number, but it's in the budget. It's the money that's allocated, and we definitely have it, and we're not going to use it. Just move it over to HHS and
Okay,
let them.
thank you, Member Krajewski. We appreciate the out-of-the-box thinking. Member Covert.
That's a great idea, Member Krajewski. I just want to clarify, I am not opposed to this. I want to make it happen, but efficiently and smoothly and without any issues. That's
Okay,
all.
well, that's why we have a board, and everybody has one vote, and we will move on to this at the next Human Services meeting. Do we have anybody under new business? Okay, member, what? Oh, we're still under old business? Really? We don't want to put that to bed? Okay. Member LaPlante.
It's a different topic, but also
Okay,
under
thank
old
you.
business. You're welcome. I think we've all heard a very clear message. I would like to bring up the fact that a month ago at the meeting on May 14th, I asked for Auditor Bill White to provide us with an audit of the cannabis tax funds, and we still have not received it. And I'm very curious if he could answer to that, where the audit is, and we would really like to see it.
Is Bill here?
Is he online? Is Auditor White online, if he's not in the room?
If he is not.
Can you hear me?
There you go.
Okay, I spoke with staff earlier today. I was not aware I was expected to address this topic. I'm more than happy to address this topic at the next meeting in full.
I had a hard time
I believe
hearing
he
him.
said Bill, correct me if I'm wrong, that he would bring this information to the next meeting.
Well,
I was not prepared to be here today, but I will attend the next meeting and ask and address any questions anyone has.
My only question is, where is the audit? If you could just email it to us. We're just looking for the actual audit. So you don't even need
You
to
will
be
have it
present.
before the next meeting. You will have it before the next meeting.
Okay, that's what you said last meeting.
I think that's fine. We'll expect it at the next meeting.
will
then
definitely
from the
then.
auditor. Thank you. Okay, Member Galassi.
Sorry to revisit the truck for HCS. I was actually hoping we could get consensus to have Member Chaplin add it to the Finance Committee meeting for 2 weeks from now.
It'll be added to the it'll be added. I think it has to go through Human Services first.
Because it's coming through contingency.
I don't think it does.
It's coming
No.
through contingency. through
Let's
finance.
have Nick tell us what the process is.
We can go a couple different routes. Probably the easiest route, what I'm hearing is there's a consensus among the board to bring it forward. We can bring it forward to finance and board in 2 weeks. We will, from what I'm hearing, the direction is taking it from contingency line in the 2024 budget. Can I ask one question? That there was within the quote, there was a wrap of the vehicle for signage of the vehicle. That is not something we've covered. A $4,000 thing, I'd like to remove that if that would be acceptable to everybody. And then we will work with the food pantry we need a couple things lined out, but once we get it from them, we will bring it forward for the funding of that vehicle, and it would likely come straight to finance and board.
Okay. Member Rutledge.
Nick, are they giving us an estimate of what vehicle they're looking at? And
Turn
what
over
cost?
the piece of paper and
Okay, I'm
decide.
sorry. Thank you.
And the wrap, the $4,000 wrap, is what we have denied every other vehicle, and so to at least be consistent, I'd like to take that out.
Okay. Who else? Anybody else on old business? Okay. New business. Member Desart.
Thank you. I have a couple of things, just 3 things to say about District 5 events. One is talking about food insecurity. There's a pop-up food pantry coming up this Friday, June 14th. It starts at 9 a.m. It's supposed to go until noon, but get there early because there's going to be a huge backup or a huge car lineup starting at 9. It's in collaboration with the Northern Illinois Food Pantry, or Food Bank rather. And again, it starts at 9. There'll also be random cards receiving $50 gift cards. It's going to be held at Phillips Park at 1000 Ray Moses Drive. And they're not asking for ID. It's open to anybody. The second thing I'd like to bring up is coming up on Saturday, June 15th. I'd like to thank Adam Forker and the DuPage County Health Department for they agreed to be on site at the Naperville Neighbors United Juneteenth celebration. Again, it's this Saturday from 12 to 3 at Rotary Hill in Naperville. And the other thing I wanted to mention is I've got a ton of things I want to shred. And State Rep Stephanie Kifowitz is holding a recycle and shredding event on Saturday, July 13th from 9 to noon at her offices in Aurora, 1677 Montgomery Road. 3 events in District 5 that I hope you can partake in. Thank you.
Okay. Member Galassi.
Thank you. I just wanted to also comment on your opening comments about the NACO Achievement Awards. I wanted to thank Lisa Stravak, the entire team at WorkNet DuPage, the College of DuPage, and Choose DuPage for collaborating on the idea that I brought to them, the Back to School, Back to Work initiative. I was very proud that that was awarded that NACO Achievement Award, and it was a pleasure working with them on this initiative, and I know that they're doing another round of classes in September. So thank you.
Okay. Member Guston.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to thank staff very much. They were very responsive this weekend. We had some flooding on West Street, Ogden and West, which according to residents and a video was smelly, stinky, very bad. Probably a nice nest for those mosquitoes that are going to be coming out or are out already. It's still pending. We still don't understand why the flooding occurred. But I did want to give a shout out to staff for being available for us and the residents on the weekend. So more to come. Thank you.
Okay. Member Krajewski.
No, just one last thing. We had 700 people last Thursday, I think it was, at the Choose DuPage Business Economic Forum. I think it was like the 18th one, but I know every year they do the survey. I got my survey back, but they always were recently been saying they'd like to hear more about what the county board's doing. So Chair Conroy, I think you did a phenomenal job of really, explaining a bunch of the things. You had the CRC center there, but a number of the things that the county's doing. So the business community now kind of is aware. But I know they would always ask that. It's like, what's the county doing? So I think you did a phenomenal job in this board for the stuff that we've been doing, but in telling the business world there in that event of all the things that DuPage County's been doing, which was a lot. So good job on that.
Thank you. And that's, all of you get credit for the work that we're doing here and should feel very proud of the work that we've done. And there were over 700 people that understand the commitment that all of you have to the county. So, okay, is that it? All right. Then I am informed we do not have matters before us requiring executive session. So I will take a motion to adjourn the meeting. Okay, all in favor? This meeting is adjourned till Tuesday, June 25th, 2024 at 10 a.m.